On the previous episode of Reroll Expectations, the crew decides to investigate the strange building that Varro found some time ago. They discover that it is probably Neff's apartment, and or maybe him and his family members. Varro finds a interesting magic shortbow, and there's not much more to go from here. Maybe a letter to a loved one that never got sent and whatnot. But upon the building shaking, they decide to leave to investigate and discover Neff off in the distance. It sparks a interesting chase mechanic that I'd never done myself, but it was pretty cool time. And the party manages to catch up to Neff and get on top of him and decide that they are going to take him to the Weaver to get more answers.
Let's do this. All right. What's it called? I think because I believe I was holding Neff up and kind of dragging him as he pointed the way. So I'm going to continue to kind of keep him with me as soon as possible.
Sure. So Neff has agreed to take you to the Weaver in person. After a few hours of weaving around the district, twisting and turning through alleyways that look oddly familiar, passing through market streets, finally, you descend to a set of stairs hidden by a false wall in the basement of a rundown building. You descend the stairs and enter a large, dark limestone cavern with a few small tables scattered around. In the middle, atop a natural, elevated platform of stone, sits a plain wooden chair. Inside that chair sits a figure that you can't quite make out due to the darkness in the room. You're about 75 feet away, and there are some armed guards next to you who walked you into the doors. And there are some scattered figures across the tables and chairs inside. And you hear, well, I see you've brought some uninvited guests with you, Neff. What brings you back to the den?
Were you talking to Neff or us?
I'm talking to Neff, but you guys are free to respond as well.
I'm going to actually use message to the Weaver. And I'm going to say he has... Hold on a second.
I would like to point out that going into a place with a stranger and start casting spells is probably not a great idea.
It's going to be important. It's just message. I'm going to say he is untrustworthy. He has stabbed you in your back and led us to you just so that we can have a conversation.
She looks at you, or the figure looks at you, and I guess you can kind of see a nod, I suppose, from the darkness. You still can't quite make it out. But you don't hear anything back. And you hear Neff sort of speak up and go, I'm real sorry. I lost his accent. I'm so bad. I can't do accents. I don't know why I bother with accents anymore.
That wasn't
I can't
bad.
keep them. I fucked up real bad, boss. I made a deal. Boss. I made a deal with the alchemists, with the government to turn these guys in, and they took one of their friends. I did it to get information on the airship, but they paid me a good price. And you see the figure sort of shift in their chair, but they don't say anything.
So I will now speak. Yes, that's about right. But I wanted to speak to the Weaver directly to see if you had any advice on how we can get our ally back, and potentially we can make it worth your while.
Well, I can always think of creative ways to punish our friend here for what he's done. As far as your friend goes, I'd have to find out more about what's going on. Do you know any information about what was happening? Do you know why they might have taken him?
Does the Prodigal Son mean anything to you?
You don't see any sort of visible reaction from this figure. And after a few seconds pause, she goes, "No, I don't think I've heard that before."
Can I see if I think that they are being truthful.
You can give me an insight check with disadvantage because of the darkness. You can't quite make out facial features, so you're kind of going based on the tone of voice.
Even though I have dark vision. Oh, because I'm 75 feet away.
I specified the foot, bitch.
Yeah, I saw your tweet, asshole.
For those that don't know, I put this on Twitter where I like to use darkness as a way to like set the mood and give players challenges where they can't see certain things to add to the mystery. But almost the entire party is dark vision, so there's no fucking point. So I have to plan around dark vision, and I hate it.
Sucks to suck, Jeff.
I rolled a 5 because of disadvantage.
You don't think she's lying to you?
Excellent. Well, I do believe that is the reason why the alchemists have taken Rufus, and any help that you can offer to get him back. And we are very good adventurers and honest to our word, unlike this one here. And then I pat Neff on the shoulder. Let us know if we can work out a deal.
Well, first things first, and you see she sort of like snaps her hand, and one of the guards takes Neff by like the arms and drags him off to another part of the cave, and sort of like fades into the darkness.
Manhandles him.
Yeah, very much manhandled. And then you see her sort of like clap her hands and do some like hand gestures that you can't quite. You can see the hand gestures, but you don't quite know what they mean. As some other patrons of the cavern seem to get up and walk away also into the darkness. And she says, well, I've not heard of that phrase before, Prodigal Son. But I think you could probably find some more information at the library over in the Onyx Spire. If anything, I wouldn't say I perused the books there, but it doesn't hurt. There have been rumors of some sort of like military notes there or something like that for a long time now. So if it's the government keeping it there, then if the government's keeping notes on this kind of things, it's probably going to be there if anything.
We've been told a few times that to the Onyx Spire, so we might have to take a trip there soon. But in the meantime, is there any way that you can get information on the inside from the alchemists on the whereabouts of our friend, or where they're keeping him?
Can you give me his name and a description of him?
His name is Rufus. He's a half elf. He's a good fighter, very strong. His mother fought in the war a while ago, and we came up here to look for her. I don't know what Rufus looks like.
I don't think we ever gave Rufus an actual physical description. I saw that we know he has hair, because I think one time I commented that Will doesn't have hair, but Rufus does. I think that's the only thing we know about.
I remember that.
I think that was just me. She once again does some like hand gestures, and you see a couple more people from the table stand up and go back in the darkness somewhere else. And she says, "I'll have some eyes out to try to get some more information, but these things take time. I can't tell you if it would be a couple hours, a couple days, a few weeks. I don't know."
Well, thank you. Much appreciated. Is there anything in the meantime that we can do in return?
These things do come with a price. However, I think that with your deeds and what you've done to bring this injustice back to me, I think that's all I need for now.
Well, unless these two have anything to say, we'll bid you farewell for now, and looking forward to speaking again.
Well, do you have the information that Neff asked of you about the airship?
I mean, we found it before we got knocked. Before our throats got slit, right?
Yeah, you have the information.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell her this, or are you going to just chill and keep it to yourself?
Oh, God.
No, go ahead.
I'll kind of still holding on to Neff's shoulder. I'll kind of speak up and
No, Neff is gone.
No,
I gotta
he's
take
gone.
him away.
oh, okay. Then kind of standing up more straight, realizing I'm in front of someone with some pretty hefty leverage. I'm just gonna go. Yes, we did make it onto the airship. However, we were taken out by silencers, and we had a
We didn't go onto the airship.
bit of
We
an
did not go onto the airship.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, we were trying to find information on a dossier for the airship through the office at the docks, and after working our way through, we managed to get captured by silencers who took Rufus from us, and I'll kind of show my neck where the scar would still be. We sort of had a bit of a run-in with them. We were healed back by my compatriot's mentor.
Well, so it was supposed to be one of the celestial beings on the ship, right? What are they called? Familiars?
I don't know. You tell me, dog. You take any notes?
I never take notes.
Maybe you should
I have
take
the
notes.
Information.
Are you going to speak up then, Short Way? You're gonna
I was, and then
you're going to
and he
let this
spoke up
boat
too.
sail to the ground?
No, I was waiting for my moment.
Well, I mean, go for it.
We-
This was out of game.
We found the information to what was arriving on the warship, and it appears that the aspect of devastation is arriving on that ship.
The aspect of devastation in our town of Killer. Usually that's more of a celebrated thing, more than a hush-hush tones kind of thing. I wonder why it's being kept under wraps by the government.
Maybe because they plan to use this person and don't want everybody knowing that they are arriving.
Very possible. Thank you for that information. And you see she gets quiet for a little bit, and her hands sort of like do this little maneuver where like she taps her fingers against themselves as she ponders for a few minutes. And she stands up and says, well, this can't bode well for business, especially if there's war on the horizon. I'll tell you what, I will extend my network to you for now. If you need assistance or information, wow, improv, great.
Go for it.
I will allow you to use my network of informants for now. If you want their assistance for information, I'll have to ask you to draw this symbol and pass it to anyone wearing that symbol, and they'll know. And one of the guards reaches in their pocket and pulls out a small purple patch with a black spider on it and hands it to you. And
Who is
says,
you?
They'll just hold their hand out. Who takes it first?
I'll take
Let
it.
the social gnome do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much appreciated.
And with this, you'll become a little more renowned in our city. People will begin to know your name and your acts. But I will say, be careful of who you let know of your information, of where you are and where you've gotten this patch from. Because I'll know. And she sits back down in her chair.
I pull out my jar of bees and throw it at her. Just kidding. Satire. Jeff for a second there was like, no, wait.
Please, no.
I need a minute. Hold on a second.
Public execution.
I guess we bid you adieu.
Do we bow? I'm gonna
I don't
bow.
know, do you want? Okay, sure.
Crowing doesn't know social tropes.
Yeah, I don't read about social norms in books, so I'm just doing
You
what I
went
think
to
is
a
right.
college. I was from a tribe in the woods.
I know how to hang out with other, middle to upper class kids that are wizards,
go.
but
Yeah, by stabbing them.
Got him.
he deserved it.
So the guard, the one remaining guard, takes you back once again, weaving through all these streets back and forth. It's very much almost hypnotizing, this route they take you in. So by the time you arrive back into the regular city streets of Weaver's Docks, you have no idea where to begin or where to end to get back to where the Weaver was. And now it's up to you. Where do you guys want to go next? What do you guys want to do? What's going on?
Well, people have said that maybe we should go to the Onyx Spire. So, is it a spire or a tower?
It's a spire.
Okay.
I mean, a spire is a tower, technically.
Sure, but it's a little... So, all spires are towers, but not all towers are spires.
Yes.
It sounds like perhaps we should go to the Onyx Spire to see if there's any information there as to why the Prodigal Son is important.
I need to think here for a moment.
So that's what smell is.
Yeah. So we are abandoning the pursuit of Aru.
No.
Waiting for more information.
Yeah, we're waiting for more information.
This is a great time for table talk, in character, out of character, for you guys to formulate a plan on what you guys want to do.
Well, I mean, I put out there what I want to do.
So, what are we doing?
I think a good step while we wait for more information would be to go to the Onyx Spire and see if there's any reason why they would want Rue. I mean, they called him the Prodigal Son, and I don't quite know what that means. So I might be able to do some research and see why they would want to take him if we go there.
Have I ever heard them like back in my day with them? Had I ever heard the term Prodigal Son?
You asked me this before, and the answer has not changed. You have not heard this term before.
Okay, is there any information that I would know that may be pertinent to this, like where the Onyx Spire is, anything particular about it, things like that? I know I was more just flat military, but
the Onyx Spire is here in Kill Earth. It's a huge black tower that towers over the city itself.
It's on the map.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm saying, is there any information on it, like that I would...
you all sort of know, based on things you hear and learn about the city as you've been here for a few days, that it is the home to Reroll, who is the city Justicar of Kill Earth. But it happens to house as well a fantastic library of all sorts of wealth of knowledge.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Bill will kind of speak up then, Neil.
If we do go to the Onyx Spire, then I believe we may be pushing back, searching for Rufus on our own. Do we really trust the Weaver to put that in her hands, in her group's hands?
Well, knowing that Tana was working with the Weaver and knows at least enough to be trustworthy with the Weaver, I do believe that we can also trust the Weaver.
Maybe we should go and touch base with Tana.
It's not a bad idea.
Perhaps.
I think we should do that. And then recoup from the day.
Sounds fair. I'll lead the way, I guess.
Sure. You guys head back to the arranged meeting point between you and Tana. And after, a little bit has passed by, she comes back and she says, "What has happened with you guys? I went to go talk to my informants. There was a huge fight over here. The Weaver says she's already taking care of things. What's going on?
Well-
good.
We ran into Neff and chased him down and convinced him to bring us right to the Weaver.
You went straight to the Weaver?
I did.
I haven't even met the Weaver before.
Well, sounds like you should take my lead once in a while.
Like it.
She gives you like a really grimaced look of like, If her eyes could roll harder, they'd generate electricity. And she goes, okay, well, thanks to you guys, I didn't get any information. So please, what are we doing now?
Why
So
thanks to us?
What?
Go ahead.
She said thanks to you guys. I said, why thanks to us?
Because she has already taken care of things. I didn't get any information from her because she's taken full control. It went from me trying to ask questions to them saying, don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Well, the Weaver did suggest that we go to the Onyx Spire to do some research into why they're so interested in the Prodigal Son.
Mm-hmm.
Have you spent time in the library there?
Every once in a while, I'll go in and peruse the library. The librarian's a very nice gentleman, but I haven't found anything out of the ordinary there. No, just typical things about recipes and history and whatnot.
I wonder if there's a hidden section.
She kind of like furrows her brow and goes, "A hidden section. I've heard things about a hidden section before, but I've never looked into it. It never seemed like it was a big deal."
How's the security there?
She just sort of laughs and says, "It's a few city guards and one old man. That's about it."
I'm just worried if we should try to disguise ourselves if we go.
The librarian is a very kind gentleman. I don't think he'll cause you any trouble, and the guards probably don't care at all. As long as you don't leave the library grounds and try to go upstairs, you'll be fine.
But that just a car. I'm sure we're all highly wanted at this point.
I haven't seen anything about being wanted, no.
Well, they might also just be under the impression that we're all dead.
That is also true.
Well, I guess the Weaver seems pretty wise. Maybe there's something about this spire that we should check out.
Yes, well, I do suggest that if we're going to make a decision to move forward, we should make it now, and make it without question.
Agreed. I'm very happy to go into the spire and see what I can find, and maybe even see if there's any hidden books somewhere or something that would lead to more information.
Sounds like a plan.
Indeed.
I'll lead the way again.
So, do you guys want to go straight to the Onyx Spire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else that I have in mind that I need to do.
I'm trying to think what time it is right now. A couple hours have passed. And then you guys wait a few hours at night for him to come back. So it's probably like super early in the morning right now. I think it's probably around 5 or 6 a.m.
That early?
Well, you guys are trying to wait until fucking like midnight for Neff to come back to his house. You guys killed a lot of time.
Yeah, but then we also okay, wait, yeah, sorry, my timeline's just a little shaky. Yeah, we killed a lot of time. I think actually in the episode you said that it was like 2-3 in the morning when we first ran into like the house. So yeah.
Yeah, it's about 5 or so a.m.
Probably need a little nappy poo.
Yeah, if you guys want to take a nap, you guys can take a long rest and just come back in the afternoon.
Little nappy poo.
Tana offers
nappy
her
They're about to-
home for you guys to rest in.
They're about to give Neff a dirt nap.
I'll take a nice full rest.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. So you guys all head back to Tana's place. You rest up. You have a nice meal. You take a nap. Whatever you guys want to do. You go back to your full hit points. Or your spell slots are back.
All right.
And you advance to the Onyx Spire.
Angie Boy is back.
I'm gonna edit some
That's
of my
what Vilif
spells a
is.
little bit.
Sure.
Okay.
You're free to do that.
Let's take a pause and let him do that.
Yeah.
I'm only switching out one thing.
This is a great
Okay.
time to put my pants back on. You good?
All right. Yep.
Alrighty. You guys walk through the city streets and you approach a gargantuan black spire that juts out of the city skyline like a monolith to a forgotten era. This is the Onyx Spire, home to Zeral, the city Justicar, as well as the Grand Library. You pass through the massive steel doors and find yourself in a huge, well-decorated chamber filled to the brim with bookshelves, a nerd's wet dream of information and knowledge. And at the front, a small desk sits. That's not how English works. At the front sits a small desk with a single person sitting behind it.
That's how English works.
English good, boys.
Well, I'm just gonna walk in and walk past them.
Yeah. You walk on by, and as you walk past the desk, you see an elderly alchemist sitting there and just goes, "Ooh, hello. Welcome to the library."
Hello. Thank you for welcoming us.
Not a problem. Let me know if you need any help.
Sounds like
Where's
such
the smut section?
a kind lad. Stop.
Sounds good. Thank you. We'll be browsing.
Yeah, he sort of like waves you off as you guys enter the inner reaches of the library, I guess.
All right, where's the beads?
The book maze. The what?
Where's the room with beads hanging in front of it?
Beads? Oh, you want the adult fiction section?
Yeah.
You actually want to go there?
Yeah.
Did I
Sure.
stutter, Jeff?
You walk around the bookshelves for a while until you find a slightly off-putting section with some really cheap-looking curtains that block off this particular section of books. And right as you go to open the crusty-looking blinds, you hear the old man pipe up and says, "Oh, just so you know, that's the adult-only section in there. I'd be wary if I were you. Some horrible things in there."
Thanks for the warning. Folks, guys, I think this might be where the hidden section is.
Can I just look at these two and just go,
You two do understand that when you go back there, it's just porn, right?
Are you sure about this, Harriman?
Yes.
I have a strong feeling that the hidden section is in here.
I am going to just look upon them in just absolute ridiculousness, and I'm gonna go
Absolute disgust.
just
Hiding in
disgust,
plain
just,
sight.
Hiding in plain sight. Someone's got a boner.
I will just stand outside these curtains and let you do your sifting.
can I go to the gentleman at the desk?
Yeah, he's actually not at the desk anymore. He's actually just a few bookshelves away from you now.
Sir, if I may have a moment of your time.
Oh, yes. How may I help you, Sonny?
We're looking for information on a certain term that may be prevalent in novels and other sort of historical documents of that sort. Ever heard of the term Prodigal Son?
He sort of like furrows his brow, and you see like wrinkles upon wrinkles upon wrinkles descend upon his face as he goes, I don't think I've heard that term before. No.
All the wrinkles.
Can I insight?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, not great. Really not great. Flat 13. Oh wait, no, sorry, I have a negative. 11.
You feel like he's pretty genuine. You think this old man doesn't know anything about what you're trying to tell him.
Okay.
He goes, You know, if you want to look for things like that, you can always just peruse the sections. And he sort of explains to you the Dewey Decimal System, essentially, of how these things work, and sort of points you in the area of where, I guess, are you guys looking for like military stuff or like historical stuff? Like, what are you guys trying to find?
I'll look in the military section. These people will get. They'll find a different section. I'll go check the military.
Okay.
So I'll go to the military section.
I'm in the beady room.
In the beady room, you enter through the crusty curtains and you find a dimly lit, sort of off-putting smelling room, with scattered scattered books here and there, of various titles. Some have art, some don't have art, some have great articles on the inside, you're sure. Some parts are missing, some of the pages are stuck together a little bit, and some of the books that you see scattered about on tables and whatnot.
I'm going to go to the P section. See if there's a
Sure.
book on Prodigal Son.
Give me an investigation check.
Sure. 22.
22. You don't find anything with Prodigal in the title. The only P books that you have in this particular area are Pirates and Foes and Perfection of Fire. Pirates and Foes seems to be a sort of adult fantasy tabletop role-playing game, with a lot of like really lewd art on the cover of it. And Perfection of Fire seems to be really off-putting and weird. Like, the more pages you turn to try to get a glimpse of what's going on, the more it gets into this weird, like, incoherent rambling. But there are titties in it, so you're kind of okay with that.
Yeah, I'm going to take that one.
Okay, sure.
He does like Fireball.
And then I'm really going to, now I'm going to look around the room and see if there's any, switches or maybe something hidden.
Sure, give me another investigation check.
Oh, 16?
You don't find anything in particular. You do find a really odd hole in one of the bookshelves that for you is about mouth level, but for other people it's probably about crotch level.
I'm going to put my eye up to it, see if I can see what's on the other side.
You hear the giggle of an old man on their side, but you don't see anything in particular.
Hello?
Oh, hello. How may I help you?
What are you doing in there?
I'm just putting books away is all. And you can look through and see he's holding a little book as he's his decrepit arm puts a book on a shelf.
Oh, okay. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, I'm going to exit the room now.
I hate myself for that whole section.
That was really good improv.
I hope it was worth it.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, so military section. You've perused what you seem to be. I can't English. You peruse what seems to be the sort of nonfiction, historical, military document section of this library. Is there anything in particular you're trying to find here?
Yes.
Trying to look for Prodigal Son, the book.
No, actually, I want to directly look for any military books that are based upon two different topics. One is going to be any military book based upon the conquest that I was a part of.
Okay.
And the other is any books that pertain to the topics of where I know Rufus's family was from. Things like certain magics that his family talked about and his mom did, and anything along those lines.
Okay,
so
sure.
One pertaining to the conquests that have already been taking
Taking place.
been taking place.
The War of the
other
Glint.
The War of the Glint, and then the other topic I want to look for is the looking into like the places that that Rufus is from and all that.
I want you to give me an investigation check on one of those two topics. You can't do both at once, so figure which one we want to look at first. Give me a check.
Start with the location of Rufus's family. Investigation, you said?
Yep.
Investigation's a flat roll. It's an 18.
Okay. You don't find anything in particular that sort of stands out to you. A lot of it's more of like general like world almanac kind of knowledge of like historically in these places they learned this kind of magic and they did, this sort of like rudimentary military system to defend against invaders, yada yada. Nothing really like jumps out to you as far as that goes.
Okay. And then my roll?
Yeah, for the other one?
Conquest, yep. 18 again.
Cheats McGee. You look around for a while, and it looks like most of the books written about War of the Glint are written from the perspective of the winners, which is the alchemists. And a lot of it's more like military propaganda, how great we did in the war, things like that. But you do notice there's one particular book that seems to be out of place. And it's called The Historical Society of Killers City Archives, Volume 6. But you don't see any other volumes here.
I'd like to take my hands, and I'm going to, on either side of the book, try and push the books to the side of that book away and look between the book. Is there like a latch or anything behind it?
Nope, it's just a book on a shelf. The book kind of falls over a little bit too, but now that you've pushed the books next to it out of the way.
All right, I'm going to take the book, and I'm going to pop it open.
Yeah. It's pretty drab stuff. A lot of things about, like, at this point in time, because this is Volume 6, a lot of things talk about the city rebuilding after, not the War of the Glint, but it was one of the previous wars, with an insert name of war I didn't make up for here. And it sort of talks about, like, how they redefined the districts of the city and how they had to plan for the Citadel to take up a large area in the city because previously the killer did not have a Citadel up until this war happened.
Okay. Any information pertinent to, like, the silencers or any of the experimentation done?
No, nothing. This is more of like a local history kind of book more than anything.
I'm gonna
so
try
definitely not a book that would take place. Not a book that would be here in this section.
I'm going to try and take the book and try and put it in my knapsack.
Yeah, that's fine.
Roll sleight of hand or
no? You just put it in your pocket. It's a library. Okay. Come on.
Okay. I'll go back to the group.
Shorewing, do you want to do anything? You're just kind of chilling.
I did. I'm glad you asked. So before Aramin left the smut room, I'm going to venture off using the information that the nice man gave us about the Dewey Decimal System. Mm-hmm. I am going to go to, in what would be this era, I'm going to go to the self-help section.
Sure.
I'm going to use the Dewey Decimal System to go to, like, the P section. Looking for some, like...
penis.
Yeah, self-help.
Fat cock with a PH.
What to do when your pee-pee is small.
I want to look for...
Why is my pee-pee orange?
I've been trying to find the word to generalize it for his interpersonal thoughts. He's looking for a book about purpose.
Why do I pee orange?
Okay. There are several books here. A lot of which seem to deal with a lot of the more out there sort of methods of, like, anyone can astral project and solve their problems if they try hard enough, and things like that. And you do come across a variety of more physical self-help kind of stuff. Particularly one named Aspects and You, Getting Accustomed to Your Changing Body, Volume 9.
Oh, yeah? Suddenly Avatar.
But nothing in particular really calls out to you that sort of like talks about one's purpose.
Okay. I want to go to the R section for religion and browse that one.
Okay. In this one, you do find a variety of books. You find things such as like Destiny of the Ancestors, The Girl of Dreams, Strangers of History, and you find one book that's sort of out of place called Vultures of the Frontline.
This librarian's really terrible. What was it called? Vultures of the what?
Vultures of the Frontline.
It piques my interest because there shouldn't be a book about vultures. I would like to grab the book off the shelf.
You grab it. It's a book.
Just describe it to me.
It is a brown leatherback book with some nice gold lettering on it that talks about the scavenging tactics of... Wow. I lost my train of thought for a second. It talks about the scavenging tactics of those in the second wave of the fighting forces during the War of the Glint, where after the initial team would go in with the initial attack, the second wave would come in and start to scavenge the resources, and they were called vultures, based on them sort of preying on the dead or the dying and those who were affected by the first initial attack to gather resources, things like that. Very much out of place for the religion section of this library.
I'm going to note that information. I guess it's in my little nugget now. I'm going to put it back. And I am going to... Sorry, I'm having a hard time articulating it.
Me too, buddy. All the time.
I guess I'm just going to, sort of aimlessly head back in the general direction where that room that Airman was in, since I didn't necessarily find what I was looking for.
Okay, so you guys have, at this point, all rejoined.
What was that fight called?
What do you mean, the fight?
The vultures. What was the fight that they came in?
No, the War of the Glint. The war that took place during your childhood and the one that Rufus's parents went missing during. Between the Alchemists and the King of Greencrest.
Okay. Yeah, I'll arrive back to the curtain room.
Did
you guys have now all rejoined.
I have
anything
exited.
in there?
I have exited the curtain room.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
But
you're still in front of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I found this interesting book. It kind of rambles on, but I'm really looking forward to reading it.
What is it?
I forgot. It was just a weird book of a guy rambling, and there's some boobies in it. Check it out. Look at this. And I'm going to go through the book. Look at these.
I'm just going to give them a strange look.
It's incredible.
Is Villaf in the vicinity?
Yeah, he's there as well. You guys have all rejoined.
Yep, I'm with you guys.
Lilith, did you find anything interesting?
I found a strange novel that I don't believe should be here in the library, at least in the section I was in. And I'm wondering if there may be something more to it. But, keep it between us. But I have the book with me.
Well, it is a library, so I mean, you can take and use the book, maybe, I'm sure.
I don't
but
exactly have a library card.
What exactly did you find that was out of place? Because I found a book that was out of place, too, and I'm wondering if this old man just doesn't know how to put books back, or...
Well, a history of the city in the military section. It talks a little bit about splitting up the city when the Glint Wars were done, but... I don't have any memory of this. And I was there, but...
It was before the Glint War.
Oh,
it
was
an older war, sorry. I specified that. You just didn't hear me, apparently. Or didn't retain that knowledge.
Anyway.
Okay.
This was before the Glint War, Killereth, the city, and It's strange. It has a strange familiarity to it, but I'm not sure.
I'm going to try something. I am going to take a page out of my journal, a blank page, and then I'm going to write on it. Basically, what what I think would be a letter from the Prime Justicar to allow me into the restricted section of the library using the spell Illusory Script, which says, I write on parchment paper or some suitable writing material and imbue it with a potent illusion that lasts for the duration. So one of the texts on it says, alternatively, you can cause the writing to appear to be entirely different message written in a different hand or language, though the language must be one that you know. And I'm going to copy the handwriting that I saw the Justicar sign in front of the building, or like on some of the notes. And it's like, welcome to the Onyx Spire. This is your Justicar, then sign. So I'm gonna try to take that and like use that handwriting for the note to say, please allow these three into the restricted section.
Sure.
Let's see if this works. And then I'm gonna go to the librarian. Okay, we've browsed through some of these, but we did have this note, so we wanted to see if we can go to the other section of the library. I'm going to pass it over to him.
Yeah, he takes a note and sort of like looks it over, and once again you see like wrinkles upon wrinkles descend from his forehead, and it's like some sort of like wrinkle beast, because how old this man is. And he says, and he goes, well, that seems to all be in order. Yes, of course. And he walks you over through a bunch of like small passages between the bookshelves to a sectioned off area with a nice like wrought iron gate around the bookshelves, and you see him fiddle with this key. He hits the lock several times because his hands are really shaky and can't quite get it in there. He finally gets it in and struggles trying to twist the key, and it finally pops open, and he opens the gate and says, well, here you go.
I wonder how he manages with that hole in the wall.
Thank you so much. You've been such a big help.
Not a problem. It's what I'm here for.